Hey folks, welcome back for another video. This time I'm going to show you my Sitivien knife collection. I just can't get over how nice these knives feel for the price that they are. Now, I will tell you that one of them that I have is missing. I gave it to my father-in-law. I asked him to put it through the paces. He does a lot of like construction work type stuff, and I asked him to use it, you know, beat on it, because I wanted to see how well it would hold up. My day-to-day stuff, I don't get to use knives like that in a construction setting. The most torture I put mine through is like cutting rope or cutting bell and string around a bale of hay or opening packages. So I gave it to somebody for some hard use because I wanted to see how well they hold up. And I hope they hold up as well as good as they look, if that makes any sense. So I've purchased all these knives on my own. I've bought them from Amazon. So I'm going to go through them in no particular order. Well, the order is kind of how I like them, best to worst, if we're being completely honest. So we're going to start with the first one. This is one of the newest ones I've gotten. This one is the ST131. All of these are D2 steel. Basically what I've done is I've just went through and just looked for what I like. I mean, isn't that what we all do? Just look at what we like. I really like the looks of this knife, and just the price on these knives are just ridiculous for what you get. Now again, none of them have been through torture tests. I gave one away to do the torture test. But when I'm talking about, I'm just talking about fit and finish, looking at the knife. You see I've already been using this one to open some packages and stuff. Just they look, I mean, they look like incredible knives. I've asked a couple people that are non-knife people. I've showed them the Sitivien and showed them some other stuff. Maybe I can't remember if it was a Benchmade or a maybe a Sitivien. And I asked them, I was like, which one do you think is the more expensive knife? And all the people said they thought the Sitivien was the more expensive knife. Now again, these are non-knife people, but I wanted to see what their reaction would be. So we're going to show you the dimensions on this thing. So this knife blade is about 3.5 inches with their overall length of a little over 8 inches. So that is the 131. The next one, now it's a toss-up between these two, which one are my favorite. I think I like the looks of this one better, but it's close. This one is the, I'll get it to focus here, the 132, and that makes sense because they're pretty close. I like the color scheme on it, the black with the red and the yellow. I think it would be cool with black with red and white, but it is what it is. Again, it's D2 steel. Blade length about the same. Overall length about the same. And again, the action is really nice. They're liner locks. See if I can show you guys that the best way. Let's see, are the knives centered? I mean, it looks pretty centered to me. What does this one look like? That one looks like it's a little off-center, doesn't it? That one looks like it's a little more to that side. I don't know. My eyes are deceiving sometimes. So these two were just flippers with liner locks. This is a button lock. Not a button lock. You guys can see it's an access lock. I didn't mean button lock. You can front flip it. I'm not as good, my hand's getting away. I'm not as good back flipping it, but you can back flip it. And then of course you can fidget it with the access. The access lock feels good. I don't want to go and compare it to like my Benchmade 940 or things like that. But I mean, as far as the access lock itself, I mean, it feels just like any other access knife from one of the bigger brands. This one is the 109, and again, D2 steel. The collar, it's like a gray micarta, and with the price of this, I mean, you could tell I don't want to say bad quality, but you can tell quality control. It looks like, you know, me or you took a grinder to some micarta and made it look. Right here is like the rough is the right word. It looks a little bit rough. It doesn't really feel rough, but it looks a little bit rough. Down here it looks a little bit rough, but it doesn't feel that either. It's not as bad. That's the worst part, I think, that feels rough. It's like a black or a gray micarta. But again, the knife is fantastic. Let's look at the center on it. Yeah, see, this one's a little, maybe a little off center. Let me show you the dimensions on this thing. So again, it's about a 3.5 inch knife. Overall length, a little bit longer than the other two. Now, I'll tell you, I have a little bit of issues with this one. The action, it feels like you gotta, I don't know, it's, when I go to open this, you'll see it doesn't flip as nice, or it doesn't flip as quick, or watch, it'll make me look dumb. Yeah, see, it's something about the weight. Like these knives, there's a lot of weight to that. I mean, you can hear it click. This one is different. I mean, obviously the knife is much smaller and much lighter. So if I hold it there, that did fine. But it still feels like there's not a lot. See? Like, maybe it's because the flipper's small. I'm not knocking on the knife, but it's definitely, I don't want to say disappointment, but it definitely makes you think that this is not as quality a knife as what these are. Unique blade shape. This is the ST-147. This was, I think, my first knife with the jade handles. I've seen a lot of people like the jade handles. I wasn't real sure, so I wanted to try it on something obviously a little bit cheaper. I didn't want to spend a couple $100s on a knife with a jade handle, like a jade on a 940 or something, and then be upset with it. So I wanted to get something cheaper. I don't hate it. It's not as clear looking as I thought it was going to be, because in the pictures it looks much clearer. And that's not a knock. It's just it looks a lot different in person than it does on the pictures. The pictures, in person, it does look more jade. On the pictures, it looks like almost clear. So that might be a good thing. Now, this is another one that's a little more difficult to open, where it's a front flipper, at least for me with my hands. Yeah, see, I got a, there we go. This is the ST-153. Now, this one's not D2 steel. This one's 14 C28N. This one is a little, I got to get you guys the measurements on that one. This one is just a little over 2.5 inches with an overall length of about 6 inches. And this one is a bit chunkier. Well, you know, looking at them, it doesn't look chunkier. It feels chunkier than these, maybe because it's such a big little knife, if that makes sense. But it's hard to get used to opening that knife. Let me get you the dimensions on this one. So there you go, about 2 3/4 with an overall length of about 7 inches. So that's what you're looking at. So that is my entire Sitivien knife collection, minus the one that I gave away. I'll probably give some of these to family members. May even do a giveaway here on the video, or on the channel rather. If you think we should do a giveaway, let me know down in the comments. Let me know, have you bought any Sitivien knives? These are all sub $35 knives, I think. Sitivien does make some higher end knives, and I do plan on buying some to test, to look at them compared to these. But let me know, do you have any Sitivien knives? Which ones do you have? Which one of these do you like the best? If you like what I'm doing here, as always, appreciate that follow button if you're on Facebook, subscriber if you're on YouTube, smash that like button. I'll put a link down in the comments, or there's actually a link in all my comments in my Amazon influencer page. And all of these things are listed on my Amazon influencer page. I do uploads on Amazon and link the products there, so you can find anything there. And that's it. I hope you guys have a good day. Appreciate you watching. Thanks.